Welcome back. There is a live look outside at the Oregon coast. We're in its Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Our next guest not only served as associate editor of the Guinness Book of World Records, he's also a trivia master. He joins us today with a glimpse into his interesting life and new book, Consolidated Wisdom, the ultimate book of quotations for success, happiness, and health. We welcome Gene Jones. Thanks for joining us, Gene.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So I imagine you have lots of great stories and wisdom to share from your many professional adventures. What led you to write some of it down and put this book on paper?
Well, actually, it all came from the game show that I do, because I used to use wisdom quotes in the game show as questions. And when the pandemic came, I decided to just take a look at the big file I had over 35 years worth of collecting all these wisdom quotes. And I realized there was some valuable information that I really wanted to share with the world. And that started a 3-year research project to put the whole book together.
I was going to ask you where you found all the quotes, so it makes sense that you had already been sort of examining and compiling them all over that time. Tell us about the game show that you hosted. It seems like so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was called the Gimme a Hint Trivia Game Show because when people were stumped, the audiences were stumped, I would say, I'll give you the answer, and they would say, no, give me a hint. So I decided that being a trained actor in improvisation, I started making up hints, which became such a hit that I named the game show after it.
What a fun premise. So what led you to begin hosting your own game show after you previously worked as the associate editor for Guinness?
Well, interestingly enough, it goes back to my days with Guinness because I was a well-known actor in New York, and a corporate individual came to me and asked me to host a game show for a corporate event, and I did, and it became such a hit that I got a whole bunch of calls to be a game show host, and all of a sudden that became my next career. And then I started collecting the quotes, which led to the book. So actually, those 3 things all align into leading to the book.
What a great story. Yeah, that journey all culminates here. Do you have any favorite memories or wild things that stand out in terms of world records that you witnessed or got to compile into the Book of Records?
Definitely. I'd say the craziest one I ever had to adjudicate was in Detroit on a TV show, a morning show, that I was flown in to adjudicate the record for the most bees on a face.
Oh!
And so the man had to sit there and have the bees fly to his face, and we had to figure out if he had the record or not. And the first thing the producer told me when I got to the studio was, don't worry, it'll be better this time. So I said, well, what happened last time? It turned out they didn't have the man in a cage, and the air conditioning freaked out the bees. So instead of going to the man, they went and attacked the audience, and they had to evacuate the whole studio.
Oh my goodness.
So I looked over at the man, and this time he was in a cage, and I then had to adjudicate him. And what he did was he put a queen bee on his chin, strapped it on, and then they let the bees loose, and they all went to the queen bee. And then we had to figure out how many bees were on his chin. And it actually, we had a magazine at that time, made the front page of our magazine, and he did set the world record at the time.
How did you count all those bees?
We did it by weight, actually. We weighed him before, and we weighed him with the bees after. And although it wasn't a lot, like maybe a pound of bees total, we knew how much each bee weighed. So we did a mathematical calculation, and it was the most ever.
What a great story. Okay, so as we're kind of taking this journey with you that's winding up at the book now, you have all these great quotations, but you also kind of insert some of your own thoughts and personal wisdom to go along with the quotes?
Actually, yes. What I do is I consolidate each chapter. The book's arranged by subject, and there's 20 chapters with 42 different subjects. So there's a couple of subjects in each chapter. And then at the end, I pick some interesting anecdote or essence of some of the quotes and do a discussion on that. So it's not just a regurgitation of the quotes, but it's an extrapolation of what these quotes can mean in our everyday life. And then at the end of the book, I actually have a chapter called Wisdom Meditations, which is a series of meditations people can do to use the wisdom in the book and apply it to their everyday lives. Because the idea is to give people their own personal wisdom codes so they can find their own inner greatness.
Yeah, what a great concept. Do you have a favorite quote from the book?
There's a lot of them. I kind of made my own personal code, which is 20 quotes. But to start with, my motivation is from Leonardo da Vinci, who said, "I never get tired of being useful." And then there's one by Mother Teresa, who said, "Let no one come to you and not leave happier." So that's always been my motto with my game show and all the entertaining that I've done in my career. And there's a number of others from Benjamin Disraeli is, to help people find their inner greatness is the greatest gift you can give.
Those are a lot of great hallmarks to hold on to. Hey, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It was great chatting with you.
My pleasure.
The book again is Consolidated Wisdom. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.